ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, Intel, and Lenovo Legion.
Well, the kills added up quickly for Rush, who not only had one clutch behind quad, but a second one to win out the game based on a bait. That's the shot that did it. 16-11. Crowd's accumulating. Canada still believes in Cloud9 despite the fact that they don't believe in Canada. Rest in peace, Shroud. Good luck in your next drop from the plane with a parachute to pick up a gun and try and kill other people running around doing the same thing. We're back and underway. If Cloud9 win this on train, they go 2-0 and they get into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you know there was moments of that cash game where it really did look like it was going to be a convincing and very quick 2-0. But I do want to give credit to Luminosity and their ability to kind of survive and swing things back. Just because it was definitely against them at certain moments of the game, and they had the fortitude to actually still make that happen. But again, speaking of Rush's kills, I mean he had 6 trade frags on the T side, and he had 5 opening kills on the CT side. So he in and of himself was impactful through and through.
You have to give some attention to the fact that Cloud9 lost both pistols, and it was a 16-12 game. If you take away each pistol and the ensuing rounds, it was effectively 16-6. Yeah. I know it's a theory. It's hard to, it's a what-if situation. It shoulda, coulda, woulda. You can't really look at it that way, but it does emphasize how much better Cloud9 was with guns than Luminosity was. So if they start picking up pistols and look to get that lead and the momentum early on train, we could have a pretty quick game. As you said, they've been working hard on this map. I think impressively, and I saw this at Malmo as well, Tarek and Rush play the outer yard so well together, and their communication is extreme toward E-Box and Quad Sandwich. Different regions, different names, but the intertrain positions on the outer yard, because it's actually really good to watch. It was some of the best teamwork. It reminded me often of the TSM/Astralis days when Kerrigan used to play in the quad position and would rotate off of Cajun B. Didn't work quite as well with KRB. It was actually one of the maps that probably they struggled the most on after that roster swap before Kerrigan departed. But it was awesome to watch Kerrigan bounce back and forth with Cajun in that position, and it's very similar with Cloud9 right now.
I think one of the best things about those forward positionings as well is that they can get you ahead of the smoke grenades that many teams rely on when they execute in.
Do you know where you can see smoke grenades and also win prizes?
Where?
Slither.tv.
You know, if I was a viewer, I'd probably go check that out.
You can watch this game right now, listen to our sexy, coaxing Canadian voices, and win prizes all at once.
Smooth like maple syrup.
May or may not be chugging some of that tomorrow. We'll find out. Tarek sits back. I've been kicked from the session because I didn't join a team, so I couldn't tell you right away who's beside him. It's Skadoodle. So at least they have 2 inside of the B site.
Scott very patient towards the tankard, though. Obviously, with the diffuse kit, he could go down towards the site and allowed the rotate over. Seeing nothing elsewhere. Cloud9 do start to arrive, but not before Luminosity get into the push. They've actually gotten themselves quite a bit of space, but it's Tarek with a headshot to kick it off as the bomb does go in. Skadoodle still just waiting for another headshot, but it's showtime. They give us a double.
I like what you said about seeing nothing elsewhere, because we've yet to figure out where we're going to see nothing. We will see Stu on a rotation, tries to tap away at PKL. They now know he's there, not getting a kill immediately, but he creates space. Space which Tarek and Automatic, being so low on HP, are hesitant to try and capitalize on. If Stewart had found 1 kill, even 1, to create an opening for the 2 players working up at the B site, there was a chance. There still is as Automatic. That's a response frag, but none too quick as PKL. It's Luminosity now 3-0 in pistols.
Yeah, very well done. I mean, that's the thing, is they've kicked off every single half with the pistol and then the 2 conversions, never being a victim of the force buy. However, oh my god, that's 2 cross-map Glock headshots, and he gets the flank. Greatly done by Showtime. But point being, of course, that they've never flubbed those opening moments, which is something in and of itself to praise for Luminosity. We'll see if they can further that momentum here on train. But they're going to have to get through the scout and upgraded pistols of Cloud9. Stewie to the bottom side of the site, sees players trickling down and drops the bomb first. Of course, there's a second, and Stu takes it.
This is a reasonable opportunity now because bomb got thrown forward. They have to commit. It's not like they can cower back and try and reset with the guns. They've got to go, and Rush is punishing them as well as he gets behind with 75, automatic drops in. Showtime finds one, Tarek finds him. Good response, Cloud9 immediately, and unfortunate for Luminosity, they lost the bomb so quickly.
It's the first time that they don't convert their points. Falling in, off position from Stewie actually, not on side of the bomb site, not behind any cover, and not even fully behind that oil tankard, but actually up close. Cloud9 content to swing this one away already. Of course, Skadoodle's now going to be the man on the scout. We've got the single ump of Rush, so he does play forward, as we alluded to. Aggressive with Tarek. Speak of the devil. Here on the A site, where 4 players are grouped for Cloud9. Unfortunately for Luminosity, the only utility left is that single flash on PKL, who is now down. Tarek again aggressing up close with the FAMAS. Sprays for the next one. That's damage done. Luminosity should fall in a matter of time.
Should fall. Will fall. Cello goes down. Hold on onto Yell. Just wants to get guns down, please. Somebody die. Rush won't. He'll survive with 2 HP. All 5 stay up for Cloud9. Perfect scenario to build economy.
Not only by force buying against Luminosity and walking away with the win, but then, of course, keeping all 5 up. And what should be another following freebie. Rush, being the only man on the SMG, should make the most of this opportunity. Poor Luminosity. They don't even have a flash. Typical strat, go flood the B bomb site, hope to close the distance, seeing as it is closer towards the terrorist exit. Of course, with Cloud9 so close, it's going to take a couple headshots from these Glocks in order to do anything. Nade? Ooh, big damage.
Yeah, no armor that time. Stewie with the FAMAS, finds PK out, yells immediately back in, but it's automatic behind the spool, only for 2. And unfortunately, it's Tarek that's not quite fast enough to deny the bomb plant, so money gained for Luminosity. That's picked up an M4. 13 HP, AK headshots sufficient. M4, not quite. 13 HP therefore means he needs 2 bullets in to get the kill, which means he's in the open for longer, which means at 13 HP, he's a susceptible target. Point in case this Skadoodle finds him with the CZ. Cloud9 find their 3rd round. Yay! Confetti.
Always like to praise good movement in Skadoodle. He does it to the top of the boxes. Fires down from the sky. And so, valiant effort here by Luminosity, considering a $300 investment. That's a great round. 3 frags, nearly 4. But it's now the buy. 1 op per team, Yell v Skadoodle. And everybody's upgraded, barring the FAMAS for Rush. Of course, he does like to play up close, so that won't be that bad. But it's actually automatic inside of the ladder room. Cello sits above it.
So they're expecting aggression. Peter for Complexity yesterday pushed a few times against Skadoodle, but Scott never really pushed Ivy, yet Yell is still posted. And Showtime's expecting company. Their positioning is so defensive on the T side. And as there's no pressure towards Skadoodle, and he's just willing to hold with an AWP. We know that. We know he's a great turret when it comes to holding angles. Cloud9 can afford to put so much more pressure on the other points of the map, and that's exactly what they've done. So Luminosity, I'm not sure what read they had to sit back and hold for that push. Pretty much cost themselves by not being active and proactive to take control of the map. PKL will attempt to try and do so, but it's a little bit late. There's 2 men down. Shadow not going to show. No edging through the smoke. You might get it with timing, but Automatic still has his attention firmly fixed that direction, and Tarek is waiting for Showtime's entrance.
Solid round from Cloud9. Complete conversion. Not a single loss, barring a very close call from Automatic, who now actually chucks his M4 away and invests into the double op setup. Versus the pistols of Luminosity, which one would assume could generally just go to close the gap and try to charge forward, but the fact that they have the quadruple deeg means they might try to pick instead, and that's going to play right into the hand of this double op. The only smoke grenade to be thrown so far is that at the bottom of ladder. It's a flash and frag with a push from Stu over here in the box halls. he's been able to convince one player back. That's Necka's tagged to 11.
It's automatic this time, going to be the second op. Seen it swap between both he and Stu. And him as of late, he finds Showtime with it. Good start. Swing position, Rush stands beside for now, but doesn't necessarily need to, as Tarek and Skadoodle will support each other with the second op on Ticket Booth. They can both look toward A main, but yet they don't go quite far enough forward to catch the angle. Just saw a snippet of it as well. Stewie's position is so good.
Yeah, so is Skadoodle's. He's just waiting for more players to come trickling out A main. That's where he now drops the bomb and Yell. Automatic tries to close that gap, and Rush will take the kill instead. So Luminosity coming up empty-handed again. Back-to-back rounds with 5 players alive. Skadoodle's got moves. He just solo boosted himself from A site on top of the ticket in Z.
It's weird. You don't. It's not one that I would think of when I think of movement, but he's
got it.
He's sly. He's subtle.
I love watching him close range with an AWP, just like prancing around smoke grenades. B site overpass as well.
Yeah, it's gotten better. That's one thing I mean, keep in mind, a lot of people don't know this. Scott came from COD 4, or the COD series. I think more COD 2 actually in his case. That's a very fast game in terms of its movements and how quick and close you have to fight in combat. So he'll be used and comfortable with it, but it's very different mechanics, which I always found difficult to adapt to. But he's gotten better with the LWP in that position because I used to think Fallen, Guardian, those guys were really good up close. Kenny S, probably the best of anyone. I wouldn't have put Skadoodle in that category, even in 2015 when he was that dominant. Yell, shoulder bait one too many from Tarek, gives himself up. It's a push from Skadoodle this time to catch Showtime. That'll pull back, but it's the first kill of the round for Cloud9. They've lost 3 players, and B-side is included in their losses as Nekus will go in. Rush is going to try and work back through CT. If Nekus continues to make noise and doesn't anticipate the fact that he has gone CT, if he had pushed Tanker especially, Rush would have had easy frags in front.
Of course, Rush is still waiting for this, and it hasn't been checked, so he executes one. Skadoodle still over towards A, has a long way to move, but Rush is actually going to drop in, so that's been heard, and yet he still finds Chelos. So there's a chance here, 2v2 with Skadoodle coming in. Both players still on kits, both of which with a flash, but PKL's got the Molotov, and that could be the insurance policy as it rains down to the site, as does his body. Yell gets removed, and time has to be quick.
They've got kits, they've got time. They just need to guess correctly exactly where PKL is. This gets tight, but I think they've got it on the defuse. I think they just have it on the defuse. Hands on head, and Luminosity realize they've given up just too much. And just barely too soon. So 6 rounds Cloud9, they hold on for it, and they'll keep the money swelling out of control. 3K for Rush, Skadoodle, Stewie drinks on them tonight. I'll be sure to follow that up. But money's still up at least enough for one buy on Luminosity's side.
I think that round is a prime example of how important that back corner of the B-site bomb train is. I mean, if you can keep a player there, then despite how far your other teammate is, Skadoodle's all the way towards T-Con, he can still rotate over because the exit of Zed is open. So as long as Skadoodle doesn't get caught by a man at the bottom of ladder or somewhere else on the map, once he gets to the bomb site, he's ready to go. And obviously Rush just playing inside of that corner. He's patient, pulls the trigger, and gets that retake rolling. Excellent 2v4. That's going to keep Cloud9 in the lead, substantially so. 6 rounds consecutive now. But Luminosity back on the buy, playing patient and hoping that Stewie gets aggressive towards those upper halls yet again. He's done it multiple rounds, but not this time. He's going to sit back towards Spool.
So default set for Lumi. Cello's just going to make sure Brown Halls is clear. No one's aggressive. No one's going to be in position to flank immediately. Could try and sell one rotation B, and in this case it wouldn't even be a full rotation. It would be more about holding Skadoodle in place. His bigger issue is that when he wants to go back Pop Dog and take over the A site with a split as intended, he has Tarek to confront. So his utility thrown to B. Cloud9 readies themselves toward A. Skadoodle does bite. He goes closer to Chelos, and they've fully bought. One smoke and Cloud9's committed? I'm surprised that Cloud9 bit. They're not normally a team to be beaten by inexperience. Tarek thankfully still has Pop Dog to his control, but they've lost Ivy. Showtime's in. That'll cover PKL on the plant because they'll get toward the hitch. And Yell touchdown Rush. It's 3-on-3, but bomb planted from Luminosity, and it didn't take much to move them.
Yell's still posted with his op towards T-Con. They've got Ivy and Ladder in their pocket. Ladder being just underneath that connector, of course. Skadoodle's going to be trying to wrap all the way through CT spawn. He wants to find something presented to him, but nobody's moving. The Brazilian's ice cold. Time has to be quick. They won around just in the last bit of the second, but now PKL's been found. He's to the top side. And at this point, the CTs, they need to get it going. There's just no chance left. Skadoodle wants to exit, but PKL drops him, and Tarek cowers towards the B site as Luminosity double down, 2 rounds to their favor. As Cloud9 take that one, hook, line, and sinker.
6-2. Money still obviously for Cloud9, mentioned that last time. Careful not to give away too much money, boys. You gotta buy me something. Double up again, though. That's a big investment. 3rd round loss bonus. They're all around 2K, so they've got at least another round to work with. Yell has an AWP of his own. He's gone quick to Brown Halls, expecting the push that Cloud9 has used so many times with the double op. Tarek again holds Pop Dog with Rush immediately beside. We talked about it, the 1-2 punch, the combo, the communication. The fact that Skadoodle's also with Rush means Tarek could flank if he does it with the right timing, but they don't have enough information is the problem. Stewart is so far back in B. Back with an op, though. Not a bad position to be in.
Again, a nice little off angle as opposed to playing to the right side of the spools. He not only gets to the left wall, but then pushes up some. You can see how Nekas tries to preemptively peek, and well, it costs him shot to the chest in a 5v4 here in the hands of Cloud9. Frag grenade to the face of Tarek. Shrapnel to the teeth and bullets through the wood nearly catch him. He inches his way back as Luminosity inch their way forward, poised to strike the B site until the smoke does block them off. They could still push through this, go charging in. Off of the nades of their own. Showtime's got the flash, the smokes are already over. The defense weak.
Stewie's getting a rather ambitious with an AWP. Fixed firmly upon position of plant to try and deny such an action to happen. Does find Cello as well. That will drop bomb, but PKL's picked it back up and rotated around behind the bomb train. Safe plant with Showtime so far forward. They had the information, but Showtime, he's gone to Skadoodle. Stewie's going to find PKL, and automatic makes the retake look easy for Cloud9.
Yeah, Tarek was playing very patiently there as well. He was going to be the ensured flank from ladder room, and by the time he decides to pull it, well, Luminosity already dead. So great hold through and through. Again, you can see how Rush moved from both the Z connector into the back of the site. They were reading that somebody would have been pushed up that far right side of the site. And that's all because Stewie's playing back by spools. Again, a strong position to hold something of an anchor on the bomb site, but the problem being that you forfeit any line of sight over towards ramp. You offer up a lot of space for Luminosity to push forward. And again, if your rotation can read into that, it's a fine example as to how to shut it down. Great round from Cloud9, and it nets them 1 versus only pistols. Tarek and Stu successful already. The Deagles and P250s do not pan out, not as of yet. There is still some grenades to couple with this, but a couple is all that remains. Make that only 1.
Set up the shooting gallery. Might as well get 5 ops out next round. Stewie and automatic both auditioning to be Skadoodle's girlfriends. Pick me. I'm your other opper. I'm what you need. Both had a turn with it this game. They're going to keep it in this round as well.
It's interesting to note that the first time we see the double op setup from Cloud9 get pulled out, it's versus the pistol buy of Luminosity when they have those Deagles. And this time with the triple op setup, it's actually again versus a couple of Deagles on the Eco.
Yeah, that's Cloud9 just having a little bit of fun with it. I mean, Train's got a lot of alleys and facets by which ops are effective.
Yep.
Henry's talked about angles all the time. There's reasons why Kenny and Fallen are usually quite good on this map because there's just so much that they can play with, so much they can control. But 3 of them puts pressure on shots to be hit. 2 in an auto sniper, not uncommon. Flamey did the same thing last week in Malmö. Made it work in the first round of overtime against NIP. Rush should make this kill work easily, but they duck under it. Good read from Yell. Good peek control. Goes under the crosshair, but it's immediately countered off, and the second rifle still in play. Tarek has 3 kills to work with the 3 ops, thankfully, because otherwise they would have been a problem. And Showtime still is. 2 back, opts to go against him, but he's tagged down to 19 through the edge of the train.
He's got these 2 ops to find and 50 seconds to do it. He's been afforded a gap in the smoke, but that's going to cost him because Stewie's posted. And that's Cloud9 now with a 9th round on the board. 3 consecutive since this 1 victory of Luminosity. What a great flick here from Tarek as he hears these players falling down. They try to off-center it by 1 jumping off the ladder, the 2nd straight downwards, and he still cleans them up.
So post-reset, which happened 3 rounds ago, Cloud9 continues to read the economy well because they only saved 2 in the round they won, lost the next. Save by save, and therefore MP9 for Rush. Who's going to do exactly that? Oh, I had it on my screen. Position given away. They spotted him and got around the corner just in time. Automatic steals both kills as well, so there won't be as much farm cached. Cached farmed. Dyslexia, it's fine.
Cello, meanwhile, he gets his bomb plant in towards the B site. So, Luminosity, better off than not. Maybe a parting gift here to the skulls of Cloud9, but instead Cello takes one in the head. That's Rush, making more bang for his buck on that MP9. So just the 2 ops here for Cloud9, not getting super ambitious again. But they could if they were to choose to. Seeing as they are now in the double digits.
Well, Cloud9 uses this as a shape-up event. The team that was crushed, completely broken for not qualifying for Krakow, prepares themselves for a final across the ocean. Their counterpart in Team Liquid, so the battle for best in NA is still firmly on. Cloud9 looking well in control of this game as Rush goes aggressive again toward Brown Halls, gets behind Pillar. He's got a trade position with Tarek. They've swapped it, by the way, because remember at the start of this game, we were talking about Rush and Tarek. They're 1-2 punch outside. Cloud9, remember we were going to say as well, they're using this as practice? Tell me they're not if they're swapping positions in a 10-2 game where they're bringing out triple ops and trying to run a double setup with Skadoodle and Automatic to see if that core can get aggressive. This is firmly to try out options for Cloud9 at this point.
All their options seem to be working thus far as Skadoodle's pushed off of Ivy. Cello gets burned into the corner of the ladder room. Of course, there's been no aggression over towards the B halls. That's something that we really saw Cloud9 employing at the beginning of this CT side, was we saw Stewie pushing up towards boxes. We saw the 1-2 combo trying to flash their way in. And yet these later rounds have really involved Ivy and A site much more often than not. So while Luminosity try to take control of that upper B, it's not really going to net much of a rotation. Skadoodle does give up the close Ivy and plays from spawn instead, so he could be the fast rotator. But that leaves Automatic with 2 teammates on A.
Tarek to control. Rush rotated around. So we started with them on the B site. We get them back on the A site. Didn't catch spawns. It could have been spawn-based, but either way, let me have my moment in drama and create a storyline about practice. Not a game, as Allen Iverson would say. As Rush will sit at quad, waits. Here's PKL trying to sneak up on him quickly, and with Grayson Bomb in his hand, mind you, gets caught off, which means they can just hold the position, hold the bomb. Skadoodle does exactly that. We go 11-2, and Cloud9 looks relatively unfazed.
Again, commandeering lead here from Cloud9, but of course, remember the first half on Cash, where Luminosity were able to swing 3 of the last 4 rounds. They've only got 2 left to work with. That could be a massive difference. 11-4, 13-2. Or somewhere in between. As Tarek gets back into the ladder room, Stewie will get up close on the op. Skadoodle tries his famous wallbang, and he nearly hits it.
Stewie goes back over to Spool. But he needs help from Skadoodle, which will come now because they're getting ready to rush toward the lower position. Smokes down, Ska knows it, tries to just fire in. It's a narrow alley. You might as well take your best hit. Instead, though, gets the shot on Cello. Yell becomes the main man for Lumi as he gets closer and closer. Smoke still down to allow him to do so. Tarek's on the flank early. Skadoodle, he's going to open up space, and therefore he's able to take that back. It's Rush that gets Yell, but Spot at the very least, and he'll read that Showtime's on the flank and read it correctly.
Nice positioning as well. Just jumps to the railing, catches the headshot. Very little losses yet again from Cloud9. Again, we come into this matchup on the analyst desk discussing about how Cloud9 had a bit of an edge on a map like Train. If there's anything that this lineup has accomplished so far, it's at least setting a base for an argument to be made that this is their home.
7 bomb plants in the half. 5 that have been defused. That's an incredible stat. But the observer has pointed out. Cello and Nikus have yet to get a kill. 12-2. They have no kills. 0 and 14, 0 and 13. It's 3 versus 5. Cello is struggling. I'm not... You'd think I'm making it up, but he played so well at the minor that Henry and I honestly thought he could be a stand-in for Immortals at any point in time. He has yet to find that in this event. Cello holds for Tarek. He does get the kill. He's on the board. That's 1 for him. PKL gets rush. Still Cloud9 that have control.
Especially as they drop the bomb. It's only Cello, 6 HP. Not long for that round. Not long for the half is Luminosity as they forfeit over a 13-2 lead for Cloud9. And, you know, you bring up Cello and speak of his success during that minor, but it's also a fact that Nekiz, he's been playing incredibly well as far as their recent online games. So, you know, take from that what you will. Both of these players had proven at different moments their worth in a lineup like Luminosity. And for them to just now go absent in a decider match of an important DreamHack Open.
Well, important for them as well because much like the Argentinian side Gale Force that we saw yesterday and this morning, to be fair, they don't get as many events. So exactly. They have to perform when they're there. They have to take these opportunities to showcase themselves, their brand, or individual skill. Want themselves to be in a better position moving forward. That said, they'll have a lot to look forward, or at least look back on. I shouldn't say not forward to, but look back upon from Cloud9. 13-2, we hit half. They'll take the time given to them at halftime to discuss all possibilities. Seems like not a lot of discussion going on when you see a long face of a coach.
Yeah, silent coaches generally not a good sign. Unless, of course, someone on Luminosity stepping up in his shoes. Or if they've already got a game plan going forward, but I'm sure that game plan begins with winning this pistol. Looks like Cloud9 might just charge their way into the B-bomb site, where actually Luminosity get aggressive. Yell rounds the corner first, spots 2 targets, and just decides to fall back. No reason to offer an opening towards the site. Seeing as Cloud9 have a Molotov and the smoke flash on Tarek, I'm assuming this could be quite cookie cutter. Smoke the ramp or smoke Zed, push into the bomb site, and then play the insurance policy with the molly.
Yell's waiting for the push. Rightfully so. They're decent with pistols. Remember, the 3-0 in the series on them as Rush slides under Yell's crosshair to get the shot back, but Showtime doesn't fancy giving him much more. All planted late, 2 versus 4. Molotov for Skadoodle, but he can't sit back and rest in the position yet. He's got to fight, and he'll have to do more fighting. At this point, he wants to go aggressive. Good shot at range. Molotov's out early so that he can still control the fight and doesn't have to worry about the defuse being held. Knows he doesn't spot another one inside of the confines. Has to be behind, and Pickle finds it. They'll find 4 pistols, but only their 3rd round in this game.
Yeah, and remember, of course, that in the last half, we watched Cloud9 immediately force by versus them. Seeing, of course, that this bomb plant could net them the round 3 AKs, we might actually see them just bite the bullet in the following up, allow for Luminosity to maybe find 4. Which is still not much in the grand scheme of things. They still have a 10-point lead to cover. Luminosity in for a long night of work. Or an early ending.
It's Ping Gaming, by the way. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember it. That Cello obviously came over from.
The team he represented at the last Mountain Dew LAN finals, where they were able to take a lot of impressive rounds versus teams like Splice and I believe even Godsend.
Yeah, Landon they've had in there. ZQK was actually on that map, on that team for a period of time. Nekus as well. They've had players go through there with reasonable skill. ZQK, the one forgotten member of Keat Stars. Or Kaboom, if you want to go back that far for the SK lineup. Waits at Hitch toward A main. Spots, takes some shots, but no kills. They'll continue to funnel into the site. And in fact, be careful because they were getting in from Pop Dog as well, but Cello has that covered, so Yell has not to worry. Good shot rush to continue in at least at a pace by which they could achieve a plant if they force back anyone else. If they get the shot on Yell especially, it's possible. They've got to hold it. That's why Hell's important, because they can get the bomb down, so objective achieved.
Yeah, 1 kill. Icing on the cake here for Cloud9 as they were just banking on the buy in the follow-up round. And again, lots of cash made off those plants. So Cloud9 will be coming in healthy. And it's for that reason that we watched Luminosity buy into the M4s early on, predicting this purchase. So we'll see if Luminosity can make a spree of wins here at the beginning of their CT side. They're not going to have much wiggle room, so they definitely need it. You can see it there. Those bomb plants converting into full belts of utility for Cloud9. Everybody with grenades.
Showtime. Contact made, but backs off immediately. Molotov down 5 AKs. They've got the advantage on a lot of reinvestment made from Luminosity, so they'll be ready. Rush starts off, takes down PKL, and Showtime's gone. Side open.
5v3 already. Molotovs block Cello off, and so the save is called. It's quick. Luminosity, realizing they will not get many gun chances, have realized that these 3 remaining weapons are so valuable to their hopes. If such hopes remain, because Cloud9 have just worked them here on train.
Call it early. They've got to, though. Again, not a lot of reinvestment into this round, but have to play the long game, considering this will be only 1 round against them, which means 1,400, and that goes on to a bet of only 25 and 3 grand, the best case scenario for Cello. They'll distribute the wealth by saving these weapons. Something they'll need to do. But in doing so, it's all in right now from Luminosity.
Very easy reinvestment for Cloud9. They didn't lose a single life, and they only used 2 belts of utility. You can see how a couple of fast entries and follow-up grenades can just immediately seal the deal. Luminosity, whose decision-making has been curbed here by this 10-point lead, forced to call it quits. And that at least nets them another full buy. 4 M4s in the ump for Nekes. Nades aplenty, kits to follow suit, and a 4-man stack towards A yet again. They started off with the same setup, Showtime alone on B. Cloud9, well, they take a completely new page in their book. They set up 3 players on Ivy, they leave bomb towards spawn, so no commitment can be made. But rotates, well, those play to their favor. If only Luminosity realized they could play aggressive here. T-Con open for the taking. As Cloud9 look to split. Bomb carrier inbound.
No need to go yet, though, because Tarek, with a minute to work with, Tarek and Stewie can start to work B. Rush will anchor Ivy alone. You don't want to send bomb carrier alone with A main, especially because Pop Dog's a point of contention to open space. Loose Skadoodle toward T. You've got a lot of ground to cover to get the bomb back. So Rush needs support from Automatic, which he's now got. Tarek dangles his feet to see if anyone's down there.
I think Rush's positioning could be big here, as that smoke still blocks Yell off. He is aware the push could be here. There's flashbangs raining over. T-Con will be struck. There's a lot of players on this site, but Yell locks down Ivy. That's crucial as the ladder entry comes out. Cello stops it after 1. Cloud9 start to swing it back. Yell with another 8 seconds to the clock. The bomb needs to go in. Skadoodle 1v1. Nekes, he sees him and he sprays. He comes off.
It's off. No, he knew it. As soon as he got off the plant, Nekes backed off the duel. He knew he could afford to do so. Great. Skadoodle got the kill. Doesn't matter. It's round to Luminosity. He got to it with 5 seconds on the clock. If he was able to jump off and Nekes stuck around too long, might have had it, but he had no other options, Skadoodle. So well won, well struck from Luminosity to find round 5.
You can see how the patience was coming out there from both sides. Everybody seemed to be waiting for that duel over on Ivy to really occur. If Rush had swung it, then Cloud9 could have just collapsed in from 3 separate directions. All the attention being split would have put Luminosity in a really tough spot, but they come out on top, and now they boost here.
Molotov's in behind server and sprays it. Knows they're there, but they haven't moved. It didn't quite bounce far enough. So even though he's got the right intention and right idea to spray down Nekes, he's not timed it. Oh, cheeky. Gets away. How idyllic would that have been? Tarek starts the way in, though, with a flash over from his teammates from A main. Forces Cello and Yell into hiding. They can't peek. That allows Stewie in from Ivy with the smoke down. He's wrapped in. Can't find the third rush. We'll trade it back at the very least. And we sit to a 2 versus 2.
Automatic's going to boost over the train, though. Showtime creeps beneath it. This could give him a bit of an angle as he looks to collapse towards Ivy. They find Automatic first, but Rush trades it back. It's 1v1, and he knows where he last was. The cross back, and the shot connects from Rush. That's 15 for Cloud9, overtime secured, and this 10-point lead is what Luminosity have been struggling against since the beginning, or at least what seemed of it like this half.
I think if you watch this last kill, I think Rush just barely sees him as he peeks back out. X-ray off, so this will be a perfect, yeah, saw his foot, so he knew exactly where to pre-fire. And Showtime was expecting he was not seen and stopped exactly in his tracks.
Like a deer in the headlights.
Cello on a pistol. I said it was all in 2 rounds ago. Well, it was so well contested that it's a similar story now. Scout for BKL, 2 men down already. And a waltz, a dance, a hop, skip, and a jump to the sights. Showtime at least. As always, it's going to be a menace, but it's Skadoodle to close it out, and it's Cloud9 that will play tomorrow in a semifinal.
They've done it. Holding their own here in North America. I mean, we talked about it. Cloud9 coming into this event, they need an event like this and a good placing to really stabilize themselves. These are the kinds of opponents that they should be knocking down, especially in a LAN environment. So, struggles and woes aside, they make quick work of Luminosity, who put up a great fight towards the end of each half on Cash, but train a whole other beast.
Cloud9 certainly look versed on it. Luminosity will give themselves a pat on the back, discuss it. Lots of encouraging signs, I'm sure, for them. I think that there's some issues, obviously, to address. And some players that maybe didn't have their best performances, but they need to take this back with them, review the demos immediately, and shape up. But a good event overall. Cloud9 continues on to the playoffs. That has to be the minimum objective, as we said, for them, obviously. Roster changes, very recent, very fresh, but seem, I will say I agree with you on Train to be quite good and working very well. The 1-2 punch of Tarek and Rush on the rifles especially is decent to watch. It's good timing. I like the teamwork and timing.
And another thing that keeps emerging from Cloud9 that I like to praise as well is that double op setup between Stewie and Skadoodle. Because if you think of Ska, you think of that patient angle holding style, whereas Stu loves to just go explosive with these kinds of entries. So it's like I see the depth and I see the potential, as do a lot of people with Cloud9, and it's cool to see them, you know, starting to emerge, at least on Train. Like if that's what they're going to be capable of on a larger map pool, then this Cloud9 roster can certainly go places.
Yeah, absolutely. And teamwork and communication seems to be key. And Cloud9, you know, make fun of NA comms all you want. From what I can tell from rotations and timings, especially, you know, you go back even to not just what we talked about on Train, you go back to Cash and you talk about baiting out the M4 to 1 versus 3 when he's got no armor. They're definitely on the same page. I think there's good camaraderie on this team. They're all pretty outgoing and exuberant guys, so something to look forward to if they can continue on. We're going to continue on to the desk for the last time today. It's 2-0 Cloud9. They're our 4th team into the playoffs. Stunna, you're the man.
I've been told that. I don't know if it's entirely true, but you know who are the men of the hour? That is Cloud9 coming out 2-0 over Luminosity, going on to the semifinals. I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. That's a Canadian reference. If you don't get it, well, it's too bad. Anyway, outstanding performance. I think we had a much healthier, much better looking Cloud9 today.
Absolutely. Their CT sides were phenomenal. That was me and Jacob's big problem with them yesterday. Our CT sides were not as good as I think they should have been, especially with the amount of talent they have.
Do you concur?
I agree, and I believe Luminosity did put up a decent showing on Cash. You know, Cloud9 is not a bad Cash team, and they put them to 11 rounds, which was okay. As for Train, Cloud9 is just superior. The aggressive style they have right now, it's not something you just stop if you're not good.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that the new recruits of LG, Nekez and Cello, I mean...
Rough one.
That, you got to point it out. It was bad.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of got to wonder too, is it a crowd thing? Is it, you know, what really led up to that sort of performance there? But ultimately, definitely hindered the progress that Luminosity was hoping to make. So I believe we got a replay package loaded up to kind of go over what we're seeing, and take it away, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Cash and in general, just Cloud9 playing well. Everything they did was just so coordinated. We talked about the 1-2 push with the rifles, or the commentators did, and you know, it was just too much for the guys to stop. You know, Tarek, Rush especially played one hell of a game, so. And he's now right next to me right there. So it was just, you know, hard to stop for them. All the important rounds, you know, Cloud9 ended up winning, so not much for Luminosity to do on cash in that sense.
Speaking of the man himself, Rush is with us on the desk. A great performance by you guys. Tell me, what happened differently today than, say, yesterday?
I don't know, yesterday, I guess you could say nerves got to us, because like obviously the first half we played pretty bad, 13-2, but we kind of reset and came back. But CT side, it's kind of like, I feel like even though it looked like we played bad, I feel like we played better than it looked. Like we got into situations like 3v3s, 2v2s, and we lost them all. And Immortals played really well. Bolts owned us. So.
Yeah, it's hard to stop a moving Bolts. You know?
Yeah, he was really good.
As far as map 1, I mean, that was just the Rush show. Let's be honest, 33 and 13. Hey, you gotta admit, you kind of went ham.
Yeah, I think I played pretty well. I mean, I've been under a little scrutiny before with online matches. I haven't been playing that well in Cloud9, so it's good to play well online. Was
there any change that y'all made on CT side of Cash today versus yesterday? Because yesterday, like you pointed out, it was pretty abysmal.
I think we wanted to play more aggressive, like more proactive, because yesterday we were pretty stagnant. Like we didn't really take A main that much, for example. On A, we just like sat in sight and did nothing. I think this time we decided to be more aggressive on the sides of the maps, like push door, stuff like that, you know.
Now that you secured a spot to the playoff for tomorrow, you're facing North. What is your initial take on that matchup?
Versus them, it's always pretty close with me, whether it be on Optic or this team. So they're really tough, and with Valde, they're looking really good. Valde is a super strong player, but I think it's going to be really close.
Is there anything in particular you think you can take advantage of against the North team? Or?
I guess it's pure raw individual skill. I think we outbeat them in that sense, but they probably have more teamwork and more strategical sense because they've been a team for longer and 4 players, so I think they have more strategies, but I think we have more skill overall.
I mean, to even touch on the raw individual skill, we see you guys on maps now. We've got automatic picking up an op. You know, let's just add another opper. It's coming full circle. I think you guys are progressing well. But is there any sort of road bumps you're expecting, though? I mean, North is probably one of the bigger challengers here.
I'd say the biggest road bump is maps. Like, I think that we haven't been, I'm not going to say which maps, obviously, but we haven't been able to practice all the maps. So they're going to take advantage of that in a BO3. We haven't played any BO3s on LAN yet. Only one was versus SK. So, like, it's going to be tough on their map pick, I think, for sure.
Well, before we get into the statistics, you guys had a roaring crowd out there completely. I don't think there's a fan for another team out there in the audience. Kind of wild how that works. What would you say to them right now?
Thank you. I mean, like, we've been under, like I said, scrutiny before for having bad performances online, but they're here and they're showing their support, and I really appreciate it. Well,
they're definitely out there getting rowdy, and that is 100% the name of the game out there. I mean, you guys took it away. We're going to take a look now at the statistics. Thank you, Rush, for your time. Looking at these numbers, though, Hayes, look at Rush's numbers right there. Let's just captivate on that.
I mean, it's surprising actually seeing not Rush at the top of the ADR after the map 1 performance, but Tarek came alive in map 2. I think first half he had around 130 ADR, which is absurd. He had many multi-kill rounds in ladder room. He's, I think, famous for it in rank S actually. Yeah. Pretty incredible at the ladder position, playing aggressive, and I think that's what this team is good at, is playing aggressive. But what I did like about Rush's interview, okay, is he just said, I mean, we're just better than North, like individually. I wonder what Config has to say about that.
I mean, that's a pretty ballsy statement, talking about balls Config. You know, it's gonna be crazy tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, that's certainly, I think, the matchup to look forward to right away. Let's take a look quickly at the brackets and the storyline at which got us to this point, but more importantly, where we're going ahead of here. So here's our playoff bracket for the DreamHack ASTRO Open Montreal. We've got Immortal CLG and then North and Cloud9. With the Immortal CLG matchup, is there a chance that because they play domestically occasionally, that one could be a much closer bout than I believe people would give it?
Yeah, I think if CLG was at their normal form, I think it could be a very close match. There was some question marks coming in the tournament about Immortals, KNG flying, jet lag, but I mean, he came here straight from a flight and just dominated. So I don't really see this actually being that close. I think Immortals should 2-0 tomorrow, but I guess it all depends. If Rick A started to come alive in the last map, he's been kind of absent, I think, or maybe not absent, maybe just a little quiet over the tournament. He's usually their main star. Kusta came alive, which is important for them. So you could see maybe a 2-1 either way, but Immortals are just playing too good right now. I'd have to see them going 2-0 tomorrow, yeah.
I definitely agree, and same goes on for the North against the Cloud9 matchup. You know, North are the clear favorites, despite Rush thinking they're better individual. You know, it's got to come down to the fact that North have been a team for so long, and are in this like sort of honeymoon period where they've been playing well. The DreamHack Masters Malmö run they had was pretty impressive, and Cloud9 haven't been able to show the full strength yet. You know, that might come tomorrow, so it could be close.
And dare I say it, it's who wakes up on the better side of the bed when it comes to that matchup, because you got a lot of heavy hitters on both sides. But with that being said, if you missed the whole bracket rundown we just did, head over to open.dreamhack.com and take a look at that right now. But that does it for us today here at DreamHack Astro Open Montreal. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early at 9:40 local time, so make sure you're there. Bring your brother, friends, mother, and definitely your sister. See ya.